Welcome to the Your Chosen series. I'll be taking you through a journey of how Jesus chose the first disciple, Simon Peter. We'll look at why Jesus chose him, what that journey was like for him, what made him chosen. And maybe that would also, you'll see yourself in the life of Peter and the ways that you have also been chosen by God. So let's look at how Jesus called Peter. And I'll read Matthew chapter 4 from verse 18 to 20. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will send you out to fish for people. At once they left their nets and followed him. That was the call. It was as simple as that. Jesus saw Peter with his brother. They were fishing. He called them, come follow me. They answered, they left their nets and they went. The most simple call ever. No drama, no hesitation, right? Um, but we'll see that even though it was a simple call, that doesn't mean Peter was a simple man. One thing we know about Peter was that he was very bold. He was a bold man, but a bit impulsive, right? So that means that his boldness, led him to take decisions quickly without maybe thinking through it or doing a lot of analysis, right? And you can say, you might want to put impulsive in and in a negative as a negative character trait, but Jesus saw that and he still called Peter. He still chose him, right? So let's see how Peter was bold but also impulsive. So the story is in Matthew 14, from Matthew 14, from verse 18 to Matthew 14, from verse 28 to 31. So this is Jesus walking on the lake, and the disciples saw him walk on the lake and they thought, oh, it's a ghost. They were scared. And Jesus said, don't be scared, it's me, right? Don't be scared, I'm the one. And Peter said, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. And Jesus said, come. Now you see that out of all the disciples, Peter was the only one that asked to go meet Jesus, right? That speaks to boldness. He was bold, but he did not think through it. He just wanted to go meet Jesus, and he said it, he acted on it, and he started walking on the water. And when he saw the wind and how the wind was so scary and loud, he got afraid and he started sinking. He cried out, Lord, save me. And Jesus reached out and caught him and said, you of little faith, why did you doubt? So we see that Peter was a very bold man, right? And he acted quickly, right? He acted quickly. If there was something on his mind, he said it. If he wanted to do something, he would do it. Um, and I would say that's why Jesus chose him, because Jesus needed that for the work that he was doing and is doing. He needed someone that would act quickly, someone that would hear and believe quickly, someone that the Holy Spirit will put a thought in his mind and he will pick it up and do it. Let's look at another verse that also speaks to why Jesus saw this character trait in Peter and chose him as a result of that. And so that is in Luke 22, from verse 31 to 32. So Jesus said, Simon, Simon, Satan has asked to sift all of you as wheat. But I have prayed for you, Simon, that your faith may not fail. And when you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. But Peter said, Lord, I'm ready to go with you to prison and to death. So This is Peter also speaking out of boldness and a bit impulsive as well, just saying, Jesus, I believe in you. I'm ready to follow you to death. He wasn't even thinking through the entirety of that statement, right? And he just said it. So Jesus chose Peter um, because he was bold, and because of his boldness, he was a good influence on the other disciples, because they would see him take this act of faith, and that would strengthen their faith as well. So he was influential. And though his boldness was flawed with that um, impulse nature, but that made him a natural leader, right? That made him human, because the others would see him take an action, they would see him fall as a result of that, and they would see him get back up, right? So he basically showed them what it means to be a leader. As a human being, no one is perfect, right? I'm choosing this path because I believe that this is the right path to take, right? And I might make mistakes along the way, but I would learn from it and get back up. So the others learned also how to do that as well, right? So Jesus saw that, and even beyond Peter's boldness and impulsive nature, Jesus saw the future rock beneath an impulsive fisherman. So a man that would not really think through what he's about to do, but just do it. Jesus saw a rock. A rock is stable, right? It's difficult to move a rock. So you can say a rock is immovable, right? And Jesus took Peter through a journey where he went from, you know, acting without really thinking, being impulsive, to being that stable rock that Jesus needed to preach the gospel, to preach the good news, right? Someone that would the Holy Spirit can speak to, and he will act quickly and do things quickly and believe quickly, even when it's something that everybody else wants to really understand first before believing. Peter picks it up and he moves with it. So I would say he's someone that learns on the job, kind of, right? It's an experiential learner. Like he wants to experience something to learn. Somebody else would want to understand it first, understand the logic behind it, maybe see somebody else do it before they take that step. But Peter is the one that would take that step and show others that this is the way, this is how to go about it. I fell here, this is what you can do when you fall. This is how you can get back up. That's why Jesus loved Peter. That's why he chose him. I would say that's why Peter also just left his nets, got up and followed Jesus, right? Because of that impulsive nature. So God doesn't need anyone to be um perfect, I would say in quotes, a finished product, right? He doesn't need anyone that would check all the lists that can ever exist. But he chose Peter because he saw a potential pillar, right? And um, there's so many traits that you have that maybe others would write off. But Jesus sees those traits. He knows those traits. And even because of those traits, he's choosing you. You're chosen. He's saying, I want you to do this because of this trait, because of this experience that you've gone through. And when you answer this call and choose to follow me, I'll take you through a transformation journey where this trait becomes refined, and it's the output of it, or the fruit that comes from it, isn't bad or negative. Instead, it's good. It's full of purpose. It's full of praise. Um it can bring out lots of good things. So it can transform you and help you to go through a journey where you're able to do things that you never even imagined you could do. Good things. You're able to talk about me from a place of boldness, but also from a place of showing others that you don't have to do things this way. There's a better way, right? Or you don't have to write yourself off. If I can do this, you can, right? So this is why Jesus um, chose Peter, and maybe why he's chosen you as well. So, do you see yourself in the life of Peter, someone who's bold and learns from experience and sets the pace and is influential? You could read a lot more about Peter and read through his journey, following Jesus. Read about his stories, how what he went through even after Jesus called him the rock. Was it easy for him? What challenges did he go through? And maybe you would also see some similarities where you are now. And I believe that as you read about him, the Holy Spirit will begin to show you where God is taking you through, where he's taking you to, what he wants to do. I would say, in quote, the finished product that he wants to bring and make out of you, because this is God's work and he's the one that will complete it. Yeah. So that's the story about how Jesus chose Peter. So the next disciple we'll look at in part two of the Your Chosen series is Andrew. That's Peter's brother. We'll look at how Jesus called him, why, what character traits he had that made him chosen, and what his transformation journey was like. So see you in part two.